Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Captify, I welcome you all to the fourth quarter and full year FY21 post-result conference call of Rajratan Global Wire Limited. Today on the call we have with us Mr. Sunil Choradia, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Hitesh Jain, Chief Financial Officer for India Operations, Mr. Yashovardhan Choradia, Managing Director for Rajratan Thailand, and Mr. Pranay Jain, who is the CFO for Rajratan Thailand as well. We will start with an initial comment on the business scenario and the performance from Mr. Sunil Choradia, post which Mr. Yash Choradia will be making a presentation on the fourth quarter performance, and then we'll open the floor for question and answers. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vinay. And thank you all for joining this afternoon. Hope you and your families are doing well and safe. At the outset, I would like to thank the entire team at Rajratan India and Rajratan Thailand for a great performance in an extraordinary year, with the COVID posing many challenges in maintaining the business continuity, while at the same time we had to ensure safety and health of everyone working in the factory, and also strictly following the COVID workplace norms. Our entire team has demonstrated great commitment and passion to ensure we stay focused on our customers' needs to achieve customers' delight. We also received letters from our customers acknowledging and appreciating our efforts to supply them, and they could continue operations uninterrupted. With this attitude, we also got opportunities to grow and got higher share of business from all our key customers. I am happy to share with you that our revenues on quarter basis increased by 47%, and on year-on-year basis increased by 14%. The EBITDA percentage increased by 115% quarter-on-quarter and 35% on year-on-year basis. Our interest cost has reduced. Profit before tax increased by 196% quarter-on-quarter and 52% year-on-year. Profit after tax also increased by 282% quarter-on-quarter and 61% year-on-year. Earning per share also increased quarter-on-quarter by 282% and 61% compared to last year. So with this performance, I am happy to share with you that we are on a path of growth from here on. And now I would like Yashovardhan to make a presentation for investors. Thank you.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. I'm from Thailand, and I'll just take you through the entire year's performance. Also, certain points where we feel what is the future prospect for the year. So I'll begin with the presentation. Junaid? Yeah, so I believe a few people on the call would be new to Rajratan, and I'll just slightly brief about what we do. So we are amongst one of the largest bead wire manufacturers in Asia, excluding China. And the capacity that we have put together in India and Thailand is almost close to about 60,000 metric tons in India and 35,000 tons in Thailand. The company is the only bead wire manufacturer in Thailand. So Thailand is one of the largest base of tire manufacturing in the world. There are all multinational tire companies present here, and we are the only ones who make bead wire. So this is the vision, mission, and values of the company. We aim to be one of the preferred sources of bead wire manufacturer and supplier in the world to all companies in India and globally. So we have a lot of stress on superior quality of the products, and that is one of the differentiating factors that has been there since many years. Just a small overview, the company was started by Mr. Sunil Chordia in 1989, and we enjoy relationship with all our customers, which is more than 5 years, and more than about 85 of our customers in 2020-21. We are located, as I told you, in Pithampur in Madhya Pradesh in India, and Ratchaburi in Thailand, which is about hour and a half from Bangkok. We are into manufacturing of bead wire and high steel carbon wires for over 2 decades, 3 decades now actually. Manufacturing capacity aggregate is at 106,800 metric tons per annum put together. And the company is exporting its products, especially from Thailand to Italy, USA, the Czech Republic. We also supply to all the Asian countries of Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, and UAE. Recently, after COVID, we've got amazing opportunity to export our products to the US, which is comparatively new market for us. So what is bead wire? Bead wire is also called reinforcement wire. You can see in the picture, the bead wire is placed at the rim of the tire. And the basic function of bead wire is to hold the tire to the wheel, tire to the rim of the wheel. It's very it is very critical to the safety of the tire, and it is produced in various sizes according to the customer's need. It is used in all types of tires. So any tire, right? Rather a cycle tire to an aircraft tire, everything uses bead wire. So I've right now not heard of any tire which is made without bead wire. And mainly there are two different products. One is the thicker bead wire, which is mainly used in TBR tires, and the fine bead wire, which is used in smaller and bias tires. So our customers in India, Apollo, BKT, Birla Tyres, Bridgestone, these are customers that has been associated like MRF since many, many years. I would be happy to inform you that Michelin has chosen us as the only bead wire supplier in India for approval, and Bridgestone, we are the only ones in India who are approved to supply to Bridgestone. Next. So in Thailand, we enjoy association with multinational companies, multicultural companies. So there are Japanese companies, Chinese companies, Thai local companies, that all of them are our customers. We also enjoy a relationship with multinational companies to their different locations in Southeast Asia, like Malaysia, Indonesia, others. And in export, we are supplying to companies like Toyo Tire, one of the very prominent tire players in the world, Nexon Tire, GRI, and the majority market share is covered by us in Sri Lanka. Next. So I'll just brief you of what happened in Q4. The Indian automobile sector reported a 13.6% volume decline in financial year 21, but it grew at 25.5% over the year in Q4 21. So the size of Indian automobile market, we expect that is going to expand to $300 billion by 2026, which will definitely result into growth of the tire market in India and eventually growth for us. Next. So what were the operational highlights in Q4? Rajratan Thailand recorded the highest quarterly production and sales in Q4. Rajratan India as well recorded highest quarterly sales during the quarter, and highest production and sales on consolidated in quarter four. So quarter four was one of the best quarters, one of the best quarter for Rajratan in history. So I'll just brief you through the year-on-year growth. Our revenue increased by 47%, and the revenues in quarter three by 15%. EBITDA increased by 115%. The profit before tax increased by 196% over quarter four 20, and profit after tax increased by 282% over quarter four of 2020. We'll take the numbers in details in the end of the presentation. So if you look at the major numbers, our EBITDA on year grew. Can you go to the previous slide? Yeah, so EBITDA grew year on 35%. And one point that I'd like to bring to everyone's notice is our interest increased by 0%. So with the expansion, with the investment, we were able to pay off debts more quicker, and there was no increase in the interest cost. Profit after tax increased by 61%, and EPS increased from 32 to almost 52. Next. So you can look at the major key ratios. ROC increased from 19 to 23.4%, and ROCE increased from 19% to 22.6%. The board has decided, with subject to approval from the AGM, for dividend of 8 against 2 in financial year 2021. Next. So major developments, the company recorded third consecutive quarter of highest ever revenue, EBITDA and net profit. With great volatility in ocean freight charges and export container availability, we had some focus on increasing our export base, as I told you, from Thailand, which was done in US, Sri Lanka and Europe. We have undertaken capacity expansion in Thailand, which is in progress, and by beginning of next financial year, we will have capacity of 6,000 tons per annum in Thailand. So the company also company got appreciation from many customers where we had vendor managed inventory, and for 6 plants in India, they agreed for a larger customer base. Next. So what were the challenges in quarter four and how did we mitigate the risk? Production capacity definitely was a challenge both in India and Thailand, but some good work was done in debottlenecking capacity in India and Thailand plant. And we expect some increase in production both in India and Thailand for quarter one of this year. Cost of debt, in spite of an increase in turnover, the company reduced its debt and cost of debt. Shipment challenges, Thailand exports almost 40% of its product to outside, but we saw great challenges in ocean freight and logistics cost. But we focused more on increasing domestic share. So our domestic share increased from almost 16% to 20% this year. And I further see that this financial year, it should increase from 20% to 30% in Thailand. Lead time to customers in South. As you all know, South of India is one of the main bases of tire production. And we see major volumes of bead wire being consumed there. And South of India is one of our main focus. And that is where we have embarked on commissioning a warehouse in South of India to deliver faster and to be more closer to our main customers. We, as everyone else, had a lot of challenges during the pandemic, but we worked in line with all the government regulations, controls, and operational discontinuations. We followed all protocols of COVID in our factory, and my fingers crossed, but till now, there have been no major incidences in the factory in India, as well as in Thailand. Next. So medium-term sectorial view, it is expected that India would emerge as one of the third largest passenger vehicle market by 2026. There is rapid growth projected from EV segment, and the production link incentive should also strengthen the prospects of automaker as well as tire makers. Green tax imposed on polluting cars will also accelerate scrappage of vehicle, which will eventually increase demand. And Indian tire companies are also increasing exports from India to Europe and US. So these are main factors that clearly show good prospects for us in the future. Next. So Rajratan's strategy to capitalize. I spoke about debottlenecking capacity in India and Thailand, and also increasing capacity. So India, we have already increased capacity last year. The same we are doing in Thailand. And as informed, by financial year 2023, we'll be at 5,000 tons per month in Thailand. We aim to increase market share in domestic Thailand market from 20 to 30%. We are also digitalizing the entire management control system in our manufacturing setup in India. And eventually we would like to replicate that in Thailand as well after the capacity increase. And there seems to be an increase in production of thicker bead wire used for truck bus radial, where the margins are a bit higher, which also should be a positive point. And the board has also approved evaluation of a possibility of setting up a new factory in south of India. So these are main developments that we should look at. Next. So that's all from my side. And if there are specific questions, we'll be happy to take. Thank you.
Thanks, Yash. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may raise hand. We already have 2 questions lined up. So Agastya, please go ahead and ask a question. Can I request Sunil ji and Yash to switch on your cameras if possible? Thank you, sir.
Sunil ji, thank you very much, and congratulations for an amazing performance. Yash, similar congratulations to you and the kind of work you're putting up in Thailand. And thank you, Vinay, for the opportunity. Sir, I have a lot of questions, so I'll probably do it in 2 rounds. First one is, Yash, aapko hai pehla question. AGM mein when we interacted last year, you had indicated that there was a lot of efficiency gains that you can eke out of the Thailand operations, and the margins obviously have improved this year, but the gross margins have also improved. So what is happening on those efficiency things that you are undertaking, and what's your comment on the consolidated gross margin and also the standalone and Thailand gross margins? Because Q4 gross margins are like really good. So was there an element of inventory gain here? Was there something extraordinary in the margins? And what can we expect going forward?
So in terms of efficiency, since last 2 quarters, we have picked up on efficiency in the Thailand plant. We were at about 82% of efficiency, and continuously since last 2 we are clocking 85 plus. And I see that with little debottlenecking of the facility in the final process, we should be able to work efficiently at about 85 to 87% for the next quarter. So I'm happy with the work done for improving the efficiency in Thailand, and we'll be able to continue that. In terms of margin, definitely Q4 was extraordinary. And to be honest, there is some shortage of material globally. And that has given us as an advantage, because if you've seen, raw material prices have also increased exponentially in last 2 quarters.
Right.
And generally we used to be in a tough situation to pass on prices.
Right.
But because of shortage of bead wire globally for 2 reasons. One is logistics, it's a nightmare. So there are a lot of new opportunities that have opened up for us, and where margins are much better. And in India, there is still a shortage. So which gives us an advantage to command a good price.
Great. Great. Next question is, there is only one thing that I could find fault with in the results, which was slightly higher working capital cycle. So, any comments on that? It's slightly elevated. Nothing to be what I guess, but slightly elevated. Was it a one-off thing?
So I don't know exactly whether it's you're talking of Thailand or India, but there is a slight change in the customer base for export, where the credit period is little higher. So that eventually I think must have increased the working capital cycle.
Got it. Got it. Then on the you have announced a new capex in India. Any clarity, any like more details there as of now? Too early to ask that question.
You would like to answer that?
Yeah, sure. It's about investment in South India.
Right, sir.
Yeah, so we see a very good opportunity to put up a new factory in South India. What happened, we did a little bit of customer engagement to finalize the location for a go down. And we found that we don't have enough quantity in hand to keep in the go down. We are barely meeting the customer requirement on time. Okay.
Right.
So, and all the customers are telling us to further grow.
Right.
This Make in India looks to be for a longer time. We don't see China selling the material in global market for many more years now. Okay. And Indian tire companies have to grow at 7-8% per annum. And that is the investment lined up by the tire companies.
Right.
So we feel that we are responsible to supply to our customers. What can be better? Your customers are asking for more. There is a profit in the business. You see the tire market doing well, where the internal team is also, quite experienced, and we have done a lot of innovations. We have a business model of 60,000 tons per annum, which is very, very competitive, robust business model. So we will be replicating that in our South India facility.
तो 60,000 का प्लांट सोच रहे हैं आप उतने ही स्केल का या थोड़ा सा छोटा?
वो एक हमारा एक मॉडल बना हुआ है, which we have learned, we have which is very, very cost competitive also. Okay.
Right. You will just replicate your existing plant there.
Correct.
Right. Great, sir. Great. Sir, then another question was on the Thailand expansion will happen this year, right? Bulk of it, the work must have started, and will there be any disruption in the production schedules there?
Thailand won't be a disruption because we'll be putting up a separate line. Unlike in India, we dismantled the old line and we put up the new line on the same location. We are not making that mistake in Thailand. We'll be putting up a new line. We'll start that. We'll do all the trials and gradually shut down the old line. So there is no interruption. Yeah.
Great. So now I have a slightly long list of bookkeeping questions. So
I think let others ask and we can.
I'll go back in the queue. So that is what I was saying. So I have just bookkeeping questions left. So I'll go back in the queue and I'll come back for you, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Amit, would you like to unmute and ask your questions, please? Next.
Yes, please. Thanks for the opportunity. I'd like to just get some data. One is if you can help us with the production number for this quarter as well as for the full financial year for both India as well as Thailand.
Yeah, this quarter numbers are 1 minute. We did in quarter 4 in India, we did 12,375 and we did 8,786 in Thailand. So total was 21,521.
And for the full year, sir, if you can help.
For the full year, it is 42,000 tons in India and 29,366 tons in Thailand.
Right. So what is the expected capex in Thailand, the expansion that we have planned in Thailand? What is the expected capex in FY22?
As I told you, it will be spilled over in 2 years. but total capex required to increase the capacity from 35,000 tons to 60,000 tons will take about 65 to 70 crores.
Have you already incurred anything?
Not really, not yet. We have bought a land. We have invested in that. Yeah, a small amount, not big amount. But because of COVID, things are getting little delay. Yeah.
Oh. And what is the funding pattern for this, sir? In terms of debt and equity? Or is it entirely under control?
अगर cash flow की कोई gap है, तो we will borrow from the banks, which is at a very competitive rates available in Thailand.
The last question, if I may ask, what is the expected production in FY22? Is there any?
If the total, we are expecting 37,000 tons in Thailand, and we have a business plan to do 60,000 tons in India. It's a very ambitious target, but there is a demand, and we are targeting to achieve that.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm Manan.
Thanks, Amit. Manan, you may unmute and ask your questions.
Yeah, hi. This is Manan from Moneybee. So congratulations for an amazing set of numbers. Your current guidance that you just gave, it seems you have upped it from the one you gave in the previous call.
Thank you, Manan. Yeah.
So just a couple of questions. I understand that India capacity is around 120,000 and we're already at around 50% capacity market share. And you're talking about putting up another 60,000 ton in India. So just wanted to understand that will this new production that we are planning, is it to cater to the India capacity or it is going to be majorly for export market?
Both, because 120 is expected to grow to 160, 170 in next 4 or 5 years with 7% rate of growth. So that is has to be served. Number 2, we are looking at a location closer to port. So
Okay.
we also see an opportunity to export from India, which we are not able to do from our current location. And there is a good development. Thailand has become busy locally. Okay, so whatever quantities they have supplied to Indian market in last year and previous years, they won't have the capacity to service to Indian customers. And there is a huge disruption, huge change in the logistic cost, which are making things difficult for people to procure from their existing locations. So
major exports are to which areas? Or have you started developing any export market or as such? You can
no, the new market, apart from our existing markets of Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, the new market which we have developed in last 6 months, rather not developed, we have got the market, ready market, is in USA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are not. So globally also there has been a shortage. And then has there been any globally any capacity has gone offline, which has led to this shortage, or it's purely because of this logistic? Because
no, there is
for long.
There is a capacity constraint in Malaysia. The biggest player in Southeast Asia is running at 60% capacity, and looks like he'll continue to do that for some more time. And China is consuming inside. Okay, they are not exporting in a big way. Everything is not bead wire. Even steel they are importing now. So which is a major change.
Okay. And then coming to Aradhya Steel, which plant had gone offline, has it again started production or any updates on that? And also, I believe Tata Wire had announced some capex, though not specifically for bead wire. So if you have any info on that, or if they are also expanding.
My information is it has been the Aradhya Steel assets have been taken over by a company in Delhi who are doing little bit of business, but not with the major tire companies. Okay, they're still supplying to cycle tire companies. And Tata has not yet announced investment in bead wire. They have announced investment in some infrastructure wire, and also in galvanized products, which is their strength, where they get the value of their brand also.
Okay. And then just coming onto the spreads, based on the volume numbers that you just gave, it seems that there has been a huge jump in spreads on a quarterly basis from Q3 to Q4. So is there any, so if you can just quantify what is the inventory gain in this and what can be the sustainable spreads going forward? I believe we are doing somewhere around 29,000-30,000 per ton.
Yeah, that is doable. That is doable. Our projections are also based on that spread, and we have to our customers that this spread, we won't be able to further invest in this business. Okay, and today customers are listening to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'll come back in the queue.
Yeah. Thank you, Manan. Yeah.
We'll take the next question from Sid Mehta, who's Sid, can you go ahead?
Yes. Yeah, I also have to say wonderful job to all you gentlemen. I have a few questions. One is that I assume that because of the capacity expansion, the dividend is to be kept at a slightly muted level that it has been going. I mean, the company is doing very well, and normally one would expect a handsome dividend. So are you planning to change that, or do you want to keep that money for expansion?
No, I think this year, because Rajratan has completed 30 years, we have announced a good dividend, and going forward, we will evaluate. If there is a better investment opportunity, we'll use the funds to invest in the business, or it depends. Right now we cannot commit on continuity of dividend with any particular ratio.
All right. And
we will be better utilizing the funds.
All right. You mentioned that there is a lot of increase in demand. People are asking you to set up more factory to produce more bead wire. What has changed in the tire market so that there is a sudden increase in demand for tires? I mean, what has changed around the world for there to be a sudden? We are even seeing this in tire shares and tire stocks, that there is a lot better performance coming.
Yeah, so major change in the tire business is that imports of tire is banned in India. Government has created a lot of tariff and non-tariff barriers to import tires. Okay, so all those tires will have to be made in India. Secondly, the tire industry from China, there is a resistance in importing from China, not only by India but other countries also. So India emerges as an alternate to China. So Indian tire companies will be able to export also. So these are the two main reasons for tire companies to be busy with full production. They are investing more, and I see this trend continued for a few more years.
You had mentioned innovations done by your company, and I think Yash also had mentioned those. So kindly tell us a little bit about some of the innovations. We are very eager to know, and we are very proud to know that you have done some innovations.
No, it will be difficult to explain on a phone call, but anything to do with, we do a lot of Kaizens. The team at the shop floor level is involved in all those innovations. But it is combination of many smaller things we have done, okay, which has reduced the cost of conversion, which has also improved the quality of product, and which has given customer a confidence in Rajratan that we are a viable and a dependable source for bead wire. And I can clearly see that that in our discussion with the customer.
All right. Thank you, and a wonderful job by Yash and by yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth. Yeah.
Thanks, Sid. We'll take the next question from Jay Mehta. Jay, you may unmute and ask, please.
Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations on excellent set of numbers to the management. Sir, I'd like to have a sales geographical sales breakup within India and outside India, if you can provide me with that.
From our India facility, we hardly export, very small quantity, maybe around 400-500 tons in a year, not more than that. So everything from India is sold in India. Okay.
Okay, sir.
From Thailand, it is this year it is 60-65% locally and 40% to global market.
Right. Sir, and bead wire sold in India and bead wire sold per metric ton outside India or in Thailand facility, from Thailand facility.
India, the prices have been dynamic throughout the year. If you have followed, the steel prices have continued to rise. So there was a change every quarter in the selling price. Current selling price is close to 90,000 rupees in India. And from global market, now the prices have gone up to, $1,250 to $1,300. Okay, but it has moved from $900 to this level in 1 year.
Right. So these levels are sustainable, right? 90,000 realization per ton.
Yeah, if steel prices continue to be at current level, if it goes up, we will have to convince our customer for a higher price. If prices go down, maybe we have to pass on. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah.
Thanks, Jay. We'll take the next question from Sanjay Shah.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Congratulations to you, Yash, and the team Rajratan for fantastic performance, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, yeah. So you always been very optimistic about the business where we are into, and you are gradually a time given you always are ahead of increasing the capacity, and that we are seeing the fruits of the same right now. So majority of my question is answered. I only want to understand that you have mentioned that digitize entire management control system. Can you or Mr. Yash can highlight me upon what that actually means and what we are doing on that side?
Yashwardhan, would you like
management control systems is basically on a daily basis. How do we manage our shop floor? How does that translate into the requirement for managerial level? And then eventually what all comes up to the senior level. So just to give you an example, till now everything has been done on an Excel sheet, which we've converted to an Action Log app. And the Action Log app has connectivity to individuals' smartphones, to everybody's web portal. So everything is now converted to a digital platform, which is easily accessible from home, easily accessible from any place, and gives great flexibility in terms of working. Something similar we are doing for installing some IIoT devices eventually in the factory. And we also look at all these developments to be eventually used in the new facility in India, where the overall requirement for people or the overall job requirement would be much lesser as compared to what we are doing in India and in Thailand presently. So I think the entire world is moving towards that, and we are also aligned towards it. And just to inform that we've also started the TPM exercise in India. And in the next 2 years, we aim to be certified in terms of TPM and TQM from India.
That's great. So my second question is regarding, do you see any sales mix towards that high bead wire, which you mentioned in your presentation, use of high density bead wire?
Yeah, that depends entirely on the type of tires running on the road in India. More of radialization will require more of thicker wire. So if radialization in truck and bus tire moves faster, we'll have to make more of thicker wire.
So that helps us to increase our realization with the same capacity?
Helps us to increase our profitability. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Right, sir. So thank you and good luck to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay. Yeah.
Thanks, Sanjay. We will take the next question from Dhananjay Mishra. You may unmute and ask.
Yeah, hello, sir. Congratulations on very strong set of numbers. So how do you see demand, I mean, this month, or how do you see demand next month, given the partial lockdown announced across India from the different states? So do you see any impact from the tire manufacturer that they are reducing the production and demand would be slower this quarter?
Speaking of current month, we are still struggling to supply on time. I do think that there will be some reduction in the demand because of the lockdowns and COVID situation across the country, because a lot of people in the shop floor will be affected by COVID. But this will give us opportunity to have some stocks and to get some breathing time. And also this will give us opportunity to do some pending work for which we require shutdowns. So honestly, today we are not able to take shutdowns. So overall, Rajratan will not be adversely affected if there is a little correction in the demand. That will be rather good for us. But if there is a major COVID reasons, then everybody will be affected. So all the guesses.
Right. And what is the kind of asset turnover we are targeting for from this greenfield coming in from south in terms of?
It is a tough question. Okay, because greenfield project will be higher investment compared to what we have been doing up till now, where we had the infrastructure and we only increased the capacity by installing new machines and new lines. But in a new location, there will be major investment in land and infrastructure. But in spite of that, we have to do it because customers won't be comfortable ordering major quantity only on one company and one location. So we want to offer them that we work from two locations to de-risk their purchase from Rajratan. Okay, and end of the day, after maybe 2-3 years, when we run at full capacity, asset turnover will be 2.5 times.
Okay. Lastly, one more question regarding our share in terms of PV, CV, and two-wheeler, three-wheeler. Do we have any breakup in terms of?
No. Difficult to say because same wire is used for different kinds of tires.
So we are doing same line for all these segments like CV, PV, and we are producing from same line or different line we have?
Every conference call I have to answer this, and my apologies that we don't have those information, because it is tire companies how they use our bead wire. Okay.
Right. Okay. Actually, I am attending for the first time, so.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, it depends on the construction of bead. So 0.96 can be used in a cycle as well as an aircraft tire. So it completely depends on how do they design the tire.
Right. Okay, sir. All the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhananjay.
Thanks.
We'll take the next question from Jyotika.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Jyotika.
So my question is, what is the status of Michelin tires as a client, and how much percent it contribute to the sales?
No. Right now, talking percentage of sales to Michelin is very, very, we are happy to say that they have chosen us to be their supplier. We have dispatched second trial lot yesterday to them. Okay. And when they chose us, they did audits in our company, and then they said it will take 3 years to approve you. And that is the kind of, quality check they do before they approve a vendor for a critical product like bead wire. Okay. So it is a long time before we supply them substantial quantity, and their facility in Chennai is not so big. to my information, currently they use about 80 to 100 tons of bead wire every month. Okay, so even if they buy 100% from us, it will be 100 tons out of 5,000 tons we will be selling from this location. But there is a learning in the process. Okay, it doesn't make commercial sense to supply to these companies, but it makes a lot of quality sense to supply and get approval from this kind of companies.
Okay, sir. My second question is, what is the sales growth guidance for the next 3 years?
I have been telling that conservatively we can continue growing at the rate of CAGR of 25%.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jyotika. We'll take the next question from Deepak.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I missed the number, like FY21, what's the production level that you kind of mentioned?
I gave those numbers in the previous question.
Yeah, I missed that number. If you can just.
It is 42,000 tons in India and 29,000 tons in Thailand.
29,000. So total is about close to about 70% utilization level is what we did in FY21, right?
No, it is not like that, because we have installed the Indian capacity in the second half of last year, and still some work is pending. So otherwise we are running at full capacity. Okay.
So even currently, like in the current scenario, we are running at like close to 95-100% kind of.
Sorry?
In the current scenario, like we are currently running at 95-100% kind of a utilization level.
Some more equipments are pending to be installed, and with those pending work, as I told in the previous question, we need to take a shutdown to complete those work. Then our capacity will be like 72,000 tons, 60,000 tons for bead wire and 12,000 tons for black wire. That will happen by June. But currently we are running at 4,500 tons per month run rate in India.
45. And what about Thailand?
Thailand is about 3,000 tons run rate now. And some debottlenecking will improve it to 3,400 tons per month before they complete expansion.
So that's about 7,500 per month. So that's largely in line with what in the fourth quarter our run rate has been, right? In terms of.
Correct.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deepak. We'll take the next question from Nishit. Nishit, you may unmute and ask.
Good evening, sir, and congratulations for a wonderful set of numbers. There are questions on raw material side. So recently, there are 3 price hikes taken by steel companies. So I want to understand how are we affected, and the second thing, how are we passing on this price hike? What is our frequency? Thank you.
Yeah, generally, I have been telling that there is a delay of 1 quarter in passing on the price increase, but looking at the current situation and the dynamic pricing in steel, we were able to pass on in time. There was no delay. Okay. And going forward also, maybe there is a delay of 1 month in a quarter, but I don't anticipate much delay. Okay.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take the next question from Hardik.
Hello.
Yeah, Hardik.
So my question with the management is with regards to a couple of statuses that you put. So you said that in Thailand you are the major producer of bead wire, right?
We are the only producer.
Only producer. All right. So and you have captured about 20% of the domestic market, correct?
Yes.
I just wanted to understand the rest. 80% is coming from imports, or there are some unorganized. What is the structure of the market in Thailand?
Everything else comes from import.
Sorry, your voice is not clear.
By this product and this product and can't be serviced or supplied by unorganized players. Everything in this business is organized.
All right. So the 80% rest is like imported from some other country.
Correct.
And do you have any like data as to which country is the major like exporter? As in
in Thailand market, it was coming from China.
So Thailand,
Hello.
it was coming from China, and still predominantly it comes from China. And the second exporter is Malaysian bead wire factory.
But we are seeing a major difficulty in import to the customer. So there is an opportunity, as told in the previous question, there is an opportunity to increase the market share from 20 to 30% this year.
And what about Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka also, you are the major like seller of bead wires there. What is your market share over there? If you have any insight.
We haven't really been able to track the data that well, but about 60% to 65% is, I think, what we are supplying to customers in Sri Lanka.
And what sort of a growth are you seeing in that market?
Sri Lanka, there is a lot of growth. A lot of multinational companies have bought smaller tire players, and they eventually plan to grow there. So Continental has taken over a company. Michelin has taken over a company called Lodestar. So I think Sri Lankan market also has scope to grow, but it is only in solid tires predominantly, which is used for forklifts. So I do see Sri Lankan market also growing eventually.
All right. And pardon my ignorance, but like you said that the same bead wire is used for tires of aircraft and tires of two-wheelers, and you cannot particularly make out whether your bead wire is used for the tires of a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler per se. So like how many, in case of bead wire, how many types of, like what categories are there, like a particular number, or there's a single product that you're manufacturing and it is used for production of a variety of tires?
So predominantly bead wire is differentiated on the size.
Okay.
So there are companies who use 0.96, and then there are some companies who use it 0.95 also. So generally it's the same size, but eventually it's two different types of bead wire. And the sizes range from 0.89 to 2 mm of bead wire that we make. So if the main differentiating factor is the size of the wire.
All right. Thank you so much. That will be from my thank you.
I think, Hardik, one thing which I can add on behalf of them is that 0.96 you would never know where it's going. 1.6 is something that goes into TBR, and 2+ would typically go into OTR. Right, Yash?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
We'll take the next question from Shivansh.
Hello. Actually, I have a question on the margin front. You reported one of the highest margins this quarter. So I just want to know if that is sustainable going in the headquarters.
We'll try to make it sustainable. There may be some pressure from customers, but for now we are confident that we should be able to maintain this.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Shivam. We'll take the next question from Dr. Varun.
Good evening, gentlemen. Congrats for the great set of numbers. So my first question is, at the present capacity which the company is running, is this the maximum sales that the company can achieve, or is there improvement for the sales to get better?
Yeah, we have given all the numbers that last year we did 42,000 tons in India. We did 29,000 odd tons in Thailand. Next year business plan is to do 60,000 tons in India and close to 37,000 tons in Thailand. and then we are announcing investment in, we are doing investment in Thailand to further grow. We are now, seriously looking at possibility of putting up a factory in South India. So it is not that the sales will be stagnant, it will continue to grow.
And sir, what would be the capacity of the South Indian that the company is planning?
I in the previous question, I answered that we plan to do a 60,000 tons per annum capacity in South India.
Okay, sir. Sir, and my next question is, what are the risks that the company foresees? What are the headwinds which the company sees?
Today, the biggest risk is COVID. Okay, how many times it will come and go? How it will, disrupt the economy? That is the biggest risk every one of us is having. Okay,
Yes.
Generally, I see the environmental risk. Okay, the business environmental risk.
Okay, sir. And sir, my last question is, this quarter the numbers in terms of profit and sales has been so good. How much was the inventory gain which the company made?
Not really. It is not an inventory gain. We have been able to maintain the delta. Okay. And I already told you that it should be possible to continue maintaining that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And best of luck for the future, sir.
Thank you, Varun.
Thanks, Varun. We'll take the next question from Dheeraj Manwani. You may unmute and ask. Dheeraj.
Yeah. Congrats for a good set of results, Sunilji. My question is regarding the US market. You mentioned about we have got the ready-made market from US. So how we have entered and how it will be going ahead also, this market will increase further. How it is, just can you throw some light on US market?
Yashodhan is serving that market, so he should answer.
So, with these logistic issues and also after COVID, a lot of companies in US are looking at a China plus one policy. And domestically in US, it is expected that there is a great investment in infrastructure. And also, I think it is expected that US would come out of COVID very soon. So the growth prospects are really high. In terms of customers, there are a couple of tire companies which are only present in US. Some tire company called Cooper Tire, where we are under approval. And as I told you, we export to companies like Yokohama and Toyo Tire. So these companies also have a setup in US. Sumitomo, which is our biggest customer in Thailand, also has a factory in the US. So these are companies that where our revenue is there in terms of finally getting approved and supply to their plants. There are a couple of other products also, small quantity of duct and mattress wire that we can export to the US.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Thanks, Dheeraj. We'll take the next question from Pritesh Chheda. Pritesh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Wanted to know who would be the largest player in the bead wire market and what would be his size in volume terms? And does this market have any steel manufacturers, traditional steel manufacturers also still supplying in this market, or it has become a market supplied by independent bead tire manufacturers?
I think you are new to this company, and let me tell you, in India, Tata Steel is making this, okay, and they are supplying this product. Of course, it is not a focused product. In Tata Steel business, wire is very small, and amongst wire, bead wire becomes, a tiny, product for them. But globally, the biggest companies don't have the steel facility themselves. Okay, the biggest company in wire business in the world is Bekaert. They don't make their own steel. The second biggest company is Kiswire in wire business. They also don't make their own steel. So, and I don't know of any company in China also who make their own steel. So generally, this business requires a lot of focus, and bigger companies cannot focus on a very small product, a very niche product.
What is the volume size that these two companies that you refer to, Kiswire and Bickett, what size of business or volume that they must be doing?
No, if we talk of wire business, they are very huge. If
The
we
wire.
talk of bead wire, where we are,
Yeah.
so as our competitor, Kiswire, to my knowledge, do around 300,000 tons a year across 5 locations, which is China, Malaysia, Korea, Europe, and America. Okay, and I don't know exactly, but Bekaert must be doing 200,000 tons in Europe, America, and China. Bekaert is not present in Asian markets, Southeast Asia.
Just accompanying last question. In your opinion, what should be the size of the bead wire market globally?
It's about 1.2 million tons.
Okay.
Including China.
Okay. So you said Bekaert supplies in Europe, America, and
China.
Okay, in China. And in that
in China.
And in that 1.2 million ton, how much should be Chinese market? Should be about 20% of that.
No, half of the world market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, China makes half of the world's tire.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah,
thank you. All the best to you.
Thanks, Pritesh. We'll take the next question from Sunil Jain. Since he's away, Agastya, will come back to you. You can ask your follow-up question.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, sir. Just bookkeeping questions. Some of them you have already answered, so I've noted down. Whatever you have not answered, I'll ask. Sir, power and fuel cost for the entire year. And what are you seeing there? Because there is some inflation which is coming. So what are you seeing on that front, sir?
Yeah, the LNG, which is our third biggest cost, is going up. Okay. But on per ton basis, because our volumes have increased, we don't see much effect. But I can tell you, there is a 1 minute changes. Of course, the absolute terms prices have gone up, but we have saved because of the higher volumes.
Right.
LNG, in power, we have spent more on a per ton basis, about 75 rupees a ton.
And so both put together in absolute number, what is that? So last year it was 39.26 crores consolidated. What was the number for this year, sir?
Oh, 1 minute. I'll take a minute to give you that.
Sir, aram se, aap mujhe baad mein bhi through Vinay, I can take it. It's perfectly okay. Sir,
you can talk to Hitesh separately one-on-one. Okay.
I'll do that, sir. And sir, another schedule that you guys have is another line item in the other expenses, consumables. So that is also a fairly decent chunk. So what exactly are these? These are just tooling related stuff, or is there something else here?
No. Consumables are all the, it can be lubricant, it can be dyes, it can be globes, it can be, these are the consumables. We use chemicals, hydrochloric acid, hydrosulfuric acid, then a lot of such things.
Got it. So, okay. So, wahan to theek lagega. And sir, you mentioned that, I think Yash was mentioning that freight prices have gone up. So, again, what was the number for the entire year? And what are the trends? Do you think there will be some, when will we see easing off? Obviously, they will ease off someday. But what's your visibility, sir, on international freight costs?
No. Actually, there is no clarity on the freight cost across the globe. It started with congestion of containers in China during pandemic, and which has a snowballing effect in other countries. Today, when we are wanting to supply to a customer in America, we find that there are millions of containers stuck in Houston port.
Right.
So all this will take longer time to ease out. Okay.
Okay. So final two numbers, current maturity of long-term debt.
That is why companies are trying to buy locally. Okay, so which gives us opportunity in Indian market and in Thailand market.
I know, sir. I know. Right.
Which are two major tire producing countries in Asia.
Right. So net this congestion helps you, right?
Yes.
Right. So last two questions, current maturity of long-term debt and the gross blocks are the closing numbers. If you have offhand, otherwise, sir, I'll take it offline.
Sorry, your question.
The current maturity of long-term debt and the gross block closing numbers, if you have offhand. Otherwise, I'll take it offline. So not a problem.
You can talk to Hitesh. He'll give you.
Thank you very much, sir. All the best, sir, for the next quarter. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Agastya. Sunil, you can unmute and ask now.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Congrats for the good number. Sir, my question more relate to India operations. You are targeting something around 60,000 ton for the next year, and that works out to around 5,000 ton per month. And right now you're doing around 4250. And right now we don't have. There are some corrections in the capacity also we need to do, and we have some disruption of this COVID in near term. So are you confident of reaching to 60,000 just to return?
It's not 60, it may be 55. We have to be optimistic.
Okay.
We have to be optimistic. Okay.
Okay, great.
आप देखो एक क्वार्टर पूरा खराब हो गया था सबका. In spite of that, we have done 42,000. Okay, wherein the capacity expansion came in the second half.
Okay, sir. Great. I take it. Thank you very much. That was my question.
Thanks, Sunil. Manan, you can ask a follow-up question.
Yeah, hi, sir. Just one question, sir. You earlier mentioned that approval process for a plant is a long process and it acts also as an entry barrier. So wanted to know what will be the approval procedure for the upcoming capacity at Thailand and even the new capacity that we are planning at the Indian one. And the second question was if you can just highlight on the competitive scenario in the US market. Is the market concentrated among 2-3 players like India and Thailand and US as well, or it's a more competitive market over there?
So first question is about
Thailand.
Yeah, the approval procedure for the expansion.
Thailand won't require a separate approval because it is same location and we are doing it within the same company. Okay. So we'll do our internal trials and ensure that the quality of the product is good. And number two, for Chennai, yes, there will be a full approval process required because it is a new location. It will be a new location.
Okay.
But looking at our relationship and proximity to customers whom we are targeting, okay, and we are putting up this capacity on customer demand. So they will also work with us to approve it fast.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes, US market, to my information, there are only 3 players in the entire US market. Okay. Who are supplying bead wire, and they are all multinational companies.
Okay. And just what would be the size of the US market?
US is the second biggest market after China. Okay. And we had done some survey. US is about 200,000 tons.
Yeah, it consumes about 18,000 tons a month.
To my information, 200,000 tons. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. That would be all from my side.
Yeah.
Thanks, Manan. So there are 1 or 2 questions which were put in the chat. I would just ask those questions on their behalf.
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. One question was from Krishna Agarwal. Is there any plan to shift high carbon steel wire capacity to bead wire where there are higher margins?
Not really, because we have customers who have been loyal to us, and this capacity was created to created as a cushion. When there was a slack in the demand of bead wire, we started making that product. But it is not pressure on the bead wire. Okay, and there are separate machines who do this, and right plan to do with that. At least it is helping us reduce our overheads per ton.
So the other question was from Sarvesh. Tax rate for Q4 was quite low. Reasons for the same, and what could be the tax rate for FY22?
Yeah, in India we opted for a 2% tax slab. Earlier we were going for a higher slab and taking all the deductions available. So there is a correction in the tax amount, because earlier we had provided tax based on the higher rate of tax. Okay, but going down the line, in India will be taxed at 25%, and in Thailand will continue to be taxed at average rate of 15%, because in Thailand we have tax exemption for 8 years beyond a capacity of 21,000 tons. And the rate of tax in Thailand is 20%.
So another question from Krishna Agarwal. Previously, we've seen that greenfield capacities don't make sense for new players and they have low ROCs. What would be your expected ROE, ROC for the new South plant that you're planning?
It will be difficult to separately calculate ROC and ROE. We have done a very, very rough calculation up till now, and the ROI is about 5 years for now. Okay, and we have to see that facility in conjunction with the current capacity, because we'll be serving the same customers from 2 locations. Okay, so but as an extension, we have done some calculation. The return on investment is about 4.5-5 years.
So another question that come in the chat: does company plan any captive power plant?
We have a small windmill. We also buy from solar, but no plans to invest in a power plant. No, that is not our core.
Sure, I think that was it, sir.
Yeah.
If you would like to give any closing comments, sir, that will be very useful.
Yeah, so thank you all the participants who took time out during this COVID period and who attended this call. My good wishes, best wishes. Please keep yourself protected from COVID and be safe. Take good care of your near and dear ones. These are difficult times, and apart from business, we also have to look at our health and overall happiness of the family. Yeah. So thank you once again, and thank you for showing your confidence in Rajratan. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. And on behalf of Captify, I thank the management of Rajratan for joining us on this call, and all the investors for joining us on this call. Thank you so much. You may log off now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.